Right, this is just a very short, quick video, just showing some of the new stuff we've added in Garageband on the iPhone and the iPad. This is on the iPhone, as I do not have an iPad as of yet. So if we launch Garageband, first of all we get to the song selection screen. They've changed that. You now get basically this view, which is sort of an overview of all your songs. You can sort by name, you can sort by date, you can edit in the normal sort of jiggly Garageband kind of way. The plus button, new song, copy from iTunes, which is stuff that you've exported from, say, another version of iTunes, as an export from the iOS version of Garageband. So if you do a new song, it's got all the usual instruments, keyboard, drums and so on. Nothing really has changed with those. And you get to this, which is smart strings. This is for sort of the new instrument. Looks quite nice. Looks kind of as normal. Different kinds of strings: cinematic, modern, pop, and romantic. The usual little pop-up, notes and chords, autoplay, the normal 4 options, and off. You can mute different instruments, so you can mute, say, the violins and the violas and the cellos individually. So in theory you can play just one string instrument, so say just for cellos or just for violins. Now, when you play it as the rest of the smart instruments, which is quite nice. The cool feature that I didn't actually know about, it's like I spotted it by accident, is if you move your finger on a chord, you get sustained strings. The faster you go, the louder. So you can basically swell the strings, and you can do it with 2 hands. So you can get some quite nice sort of effects, which I think is a really nice, expressive. Takes a little bit of practice. Expressive sort of way of doing strings. Modern. They generally sound pretty similar until you use the autoplay. When you bring in autoplay, you start getting a little bit of variation. Autoplay responds to the multi-finger taps as well. So 1 finger, 2 fingers, and then I don't know if I got it then. Could be just, I might just not be hitting it with all 3 fingers. It's a little bit tricky on the iPhone. Cinematics really quite nice. And you can mute stuff like that. chords. With chords, that lets you select an individual instrument: violin, viola, cello and bass, and that gives you the neck as usual. And the bass is basically a bowed version of the double bass from the bass, smart bass. There's a little mute up here, which gets you pizzicato. Again, you can select a scale, as you would with any of the other smart instruments. It's a little tricky, the violin, because as far as I can tell, it is actually tuned the violin. Slides sound a little bit unconvincing, but you know, what do you expect? And vibrato's a bit tricky. So that's the basics of the strings. They've also tweaked a few other things, such as the sections. Sections is now missing. It's the usual track volume, pan, echo, reverb and so on, master effects. That's not changed. Song again hasn't really changed. What they've hidden sections. There's a little plus, I don't know if you can see it there, there's a little plus arrow at the end of the sort of timeline. Tap that and that gives you your sections menu, so they've just moved that really. Again, Apple loops and so on. The pop-out mixer is basically the same, still never goes away when it's supposed to. That's the same. We've added the jam session, which is the new jam session function, which lets you have, I think it's up to 4 copies of Garageband, all basically playing on the same track, basically. I haven't really looked into that too much, as I don't have any way of trying it. When I get the iPad, I'll be able to try that. So, I mean, that's basically the long and the short of it. Definitely, the strings, smart strings, is definitely the winner, I think, for this update. So that's basically it. A quick rundown of some of the stuff, mainly smart strings in Garageband 1.2. And thanks a lot, and I'll see you again.